Hey everyone, welcome to the State of the Websites. I'm Tony D. Still got the Christmas tree up, having gotten a chance to take it down. Sorry I haven't done a video in a while. It's just been a crazy couple of months for me. I mean, it's just been nuts. Uh, Long story short, just a lot of things going on, and then the holidays. Next thing you know, the holidays were here, and thank God they're over, and we can get back to making comics. But it was just a crazy few months for me. So I'm glad to be back to talk to you again. Got lots to cover, so let's get right to it. First up, I would like to thank all our Patreon supporters. And if you haven't gotten to our Patreon, check it out. I'm sure there's a link on the site somewhere. I want to thank personally all our Patreon supporters. Rob Goodrich, of course, longtime fan. Steven, whose last name I don't know. Jared Sloan, thank you. Um, and some of our more recent new Patreons for 2017, I'd like to thank D.S. Newman and, I'm going to butcher this name and I apologize, Magali Abarca, who donated together. They do a comic book called Giving the Devil Her Due. So Google that, check out their Patreon. And our newest patron is Games Finder. They're a website dedicated to games, and they review games, online games, and other games. So check them out. I thought they were a good fit. We put a link on the site. So thank you for that. I would also like to thank our sponsors, of course, our regular sponsors, mydigitalcomics.com, longtime sponsor. Gosh, they go back years with us. Thank you. I'd also like to thank East Coast Mags, who are back, and they have an online store, which we have linked to at the very top of the website. You see their ad, click on it, and digital webbing, or excuse me, not digital webbing, mydigitalcomics.com. You can type that in, or you can click on their ad, which is the little square ones below. All right, so that's all the thank yous out of the way. What's going on with the site? Well, I met with Chris Moreno, who draws Super Fat, over the holidays. He says hello. He's doing well, and we have plans to get some cool new artwork for him for the 1,000th strip of Super Frat, which should happen in the spring. So look for that. A bunch of new artwork coming out. At the Webcomic Factory, we have some new comics. We have, of course, Herman Has Superpowers, which has gone only 8 pages, but it's going strong. I'm liking the look. It's developing nicely. We have the return of the anti-war comic in full color. So look at that. And we, of course, have in print, we still have Post-Apocalyptic Nick. Get your copy while they last, because I don't know where we're going to get more copies. And, of course, we just came out in, I guess that was over the summer, with Lester Crenshaw is Dead in print form by Comic Mix, which you could order either through previews, get a back order for yourself, or you can email me at thefixisin@comcast.net, and I'll tell you how much money to send for shipping and the book. Lester is $15 cover price, and Post-Apocalyptic Nick is $8 cover price. So, you know, in terms of the shipping, it depends on how picky you are and how fast you want it. I mean, if you want it medium mail, it'll take a few weeks, but it's cheaper. And if you want it like all kinds of packaging, you know, I can't like lose money on it. As far as comic book conventions and signings, haven't scheduled anything for 2017 yet, but got to get on that, along with all the millions of other things I have to do on the site, like updating the archive and making new comics. I'm behind on the scripts, as always. So 2017 looks good for the site. We also just had some new Tony Destructo strips, which were nice to have, and gosh, just so much going on. I can hardly keep up with it. I did want to say, totally off the topic of comics, I wanted to say something political, which I normally don't do in this video. I know that I tried to do a video blog maybe a year and a half ago. I never kept up with it. I think I did two. And but I have a lot of fans who are Democrat and liberal, and as you know, I'm a libertarian. But I feel bad for a lot of the Democrats and liberals. They've kind of been going nuts on social media, saying a lot of crazy things that I don't believe are true. But I just wanted to sort of calm you guys down, for those of you in that camp, and say, look, Trump. I live in South Jersey and have lived in the shadow of Trump's casinos most of my life. So I'm very familiar with Donald Trump and his various tactics. Long before he even got on TV, really, he was, doing crazy stuff here. And look, I didn't vote for him. I certainly wouldn't have picked him as president. And much like you, I never expected him to win. Jesus, it's crazy. But if you're freaking out about this, first, I got to tell you, calm down. Just calm down. It's going to be okay. I know it doesn't seem that way. It's going to be okay. Number one, you got to do your due diligence and really look at the WikiLeaks emails. You really need to, because you really need to see just how bad the Democratic Party was all through the election. Now, look, I know Trump. I'm just going to focus on the positives about Trump. I know there's a million negatives, but you really owe it to yourself to read that WikiLeaks stuff and understand, why they just didn't win, just blow it. Again, positives about Trump. I know there are a lot of negatives, and again, I don't want him as president. But the one positive I can see, the biggest positive, is that he seems to want peace with Russia, which would be a good thing. I know a lot of you are going crazy about this Russian hack and all that nonsense. You really got to read the WikiLeaks emails, okay? Just read them. But peace with Russia would be very good, and he seems to be heading down that path. I know that a lot of my associates and friends, they're worried about people who are gay or transgender or, even just, they're Jewish or black and they're freaking out. And I'm just like, look, Donald Trump isn't the greatest guy in the world, but he pretty much treats people with equal contempt as far as I could see. So, he's not really going to pick people out and send them to crazy camps. He's just pretty much going to treat everyone like shit, as far as I can tell. So, I don't think you got to worry about being picked on specifically any more than you did, prior to Trump being president. It's pretty much the same. Yeah, you've got a few racist wackos out there, like you always do, and they've maybe gotten a little full of themselves and think like it's all cool for them, but it's not really. I mean, if anything, Trump's going to overcompensate and really crack down on those knuckleheads. And finally, the main thing I would like to tell my liberal and Democratic friends, you've got to stop hammering Trump before he even does anything. You're destroying the credibility of your ability to complain. As a libertarian, I've been complaining for way back, as long as I can remember, because, my guy isn't in, and the libertarian policies certainly aren't happening. But, in terms of war and foreign policy, neither of the two big parties are very good. And I can only tell you, looking from the outside of this, that Trump is at least trying some new things in that area. They may be bad, but, some of them sound kind of okay. And, in terms of things like immigration and domestic policies, all that has to go through Congress. So, even though the Republicans control both houses, the Democrats could step up their game and block stuff. So it's not going to be the total disaster you think it is, and he's certainly not Hitler. Okay, he's not even the same realm as Hitler in terms of his evilness. I don't even think he's in the realm of Cheney, really. I mean, you want to talk about a guy who I think was evil? It was Dick Cheney. I mean, there was evidence that I think it was Halliburton were building some kind of weird camps that people were freaking out about back in, like, I don't know, 2004, 2006 or something, that were connected to Cheney somehow. And but look, Trump, he's he is what he is, and if you want to have some credibility for the Democratic Party, you've got to go after policy and laws and things and actions that he's done. This whole thing about, he's made fun of people. Yeah, he's a vulgar guy and he does crazy things, but that's not policy. It's rude. It's certainly rude at the minimum, and you could call it racist and homophobic or whatever, but it's not policy. Once he creates policy, that's when you go and say no. Or if he attempts to create policy, or he attempts to, do something. Actions and policy, those are the things you have to concentrate on. So wait until he gets in office. Just give him a week. Obama sent drones to kill people the third day he was in office. And nobody said boo, except, libertarians, but that's another story. But I'm saying give Trump at least a chance to screw it up before you burn up all your credibility, putting out Facebook memes and crying on Twitter. I mean, it's just been crazy on social media. So I urge you, just calm down. It's going to be fine. You're going to roll back from this, and it's not going to be as bad as you think. Okay? Probably not going to be as good as I think. Normally I'm the doom and gloom guy because I'm a libertarian and talk about the U.S. dollar collapsing and all that nonsense. But, these days I've got to be the other guy. I've got to be the more optimistic guy. It's not going to be that bad. Even if the currency collapses in my libertarian world, it still won't be the end of everything. It'll just be, more problems that you got to deal with to your day-to-day life, So, anyhow, that's it. That's my political rant. I don't know if it made any sense, but I hope that you look forward to a positive 2017. I am. I'm glad 2016's over for completely unrelated reasons to politics. Bunch of stuff happened to me the last few months and just, ugh. So I'm looking to start fresh, start new, and I hope you join me in that good, positive vibe and just say, yay, 2017. And thank you for supporting the Webcomic Factory and Superfrat. We're going to make some more comics, and trust me, 2017 is going to be awesome. Okay, thank you. I got to get back. Got to get some work done. See ya.